Hey everyone! Who's ready to play a game? I know I am. You're about to see several snowmen on the screen. One of these snowmen has a cookie hidden in his top hat. The snowman will then get shuffled up, but your challenge will be to keep your eye on the snowman with the cookie. Think you can do it? If so, let me hear you say, "Oh yeah!" All right, here we go. Okay, shout out 1, 2, or 3 if you think you know which snowman has the cookie. Great job, everyone. Let's try another. This one will be a little faster. Whoa, that was fast. Did you keep track of the cookie? If so, shout it out. 1, 2, or 3 if you think you know which snowman has the cookie. Great job, everyone. Let's try another one. This time with 4 snowmen. Ooh, that was definitely a little trickier. Shout out the number if you think you know where the cookie is. Nice job. Now, let's try it again, but a little faster. Okay, that was really tough. Did you keep your eye on the cookie? If so, shout it out. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Way to go! That was really challenging. But what happens if we add in one more snowman? All right, who knows where the cookie is at? Shout it out if you know it. Nice job! Now, can you do it if the snowmen go even faster? Okay, that was just crazy. Does anybody know where the cookie is? Wow! Anybody who could keep their eye on that snowman must really love gingerbread cookies. Great job, everyone.
What do we got here? Looks like some kind of party. What's this? Oreo cookies. Oh man, I want one. What's this? Do not eat. Do not eat? How do you not eat an Oreo cookie? That doesn't make sense. Oh man, they smell good. If I just have one, no one will notice, right? Yeah, I can't do it. No, come on, leave out. Yeah, I can do it. I can just have one, right? Surely I can. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, just one. No one will know if I have one cookie, right? I'll just take one cookie, kind of put it all back together. Just have one cookie. That was good. You know, they won't notice if I have 2, will they? No, they won't notice. Oh no, they're gonna know. Well, that didn't go as planned, did it? Hello everyone, I hope you're having a better day so far than I am, because I totally ate these cookies and I shouldn't have. I should have practiced self-control, but it's so hard. Hey guys, listen, I just love hanging out here with all of you so we can learn so many different things. As you may already know, this month we've been talking about self-control. Self-control is choosing to do what you should even when you don't want to. Hey, it's not always easy to choose self-control, is it? But with God's help, it's something that we all can learn to do. If you remember, our theme for the month is called Remote Control. And sometimes we think all we have to do is just click a button and we're good to go. But life doesn't always work that way. You see, self-control can sometimes be very difficult. Well, for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be looking at a couple stories that help us better understand that we need God and each other to help us practice self-control. Well, when someone hurts us or is mean to us, we want to get back and hurt them. But when we trust Jesus, His Spirit helps us do the right thing, even when we don't want to. Well, in our story this week, a man named David was chosen as a young man by God to be a king. And the current king, his name was Saul, was trying to kill him because he didn't want to be succeeded by this guy named David. Well, David actually had an opportunity to take revenge and to kill King Saul. But God helped him be an example of self-control, and the king lived. Well, our bottom line for this week is don't be controlled by your anger. This is going to be a great lesson as we learn how self-control keeps us from getting revenge and hurting other people. Well, next week, we're going to get a lesson from one of the wisest men who ever lived. His name is Solomon. That's right. You see, God answered his prayer and gave him an amazing amount of wisdom and understanding. Well, Solomon has some really great words for us about self-control. Sometimes we can lose self-control and say really mean things to our family and our friends. Well, Solomon talks about how our words can hurt others. Solomon says in his book called Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 18, he says, "The words of thoughtless people cut like swords, but the tongue of the wise person brings healing." Did you catch that? Let me read it again. The words of the thoughtless people, they cut like swords, but the tongue of wise people brings healing. Wow, if we don't have self-control, our words will be thoughtless. That means we'll just speak without thinking, and that can be dangerous and hurtful. You see, self-control is important, and only Jesus can help us be aware and give us strength to practice self-control. This is really good news. Our bottom line for next week is think before you speak. Let me repeat that again, okay? Think before you speak. Even our memory verse helps us understand who helps us with self-control. Peter, one of Jesus' disciples, tells us that our help comes from God. He says in 2 Peter 1:3 that God's power has given us everything we need to lead a godly life. Did you hear that? He said that God's power gives us what we need. That is so cool. Hey, I know. Why don't you hang out with us today as we discover God's power to practice self-control?
This little light of mine light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. What you gonna do with your little light? Gonna let it shine. What you gonna do with your little light? Gonna let it shine. What you gonna do with your little light? Gonna let it shine. What you gonna do with your little light? Gonna let it shine. Gonna let it shine.
Let it shine. Shine. Let it shine.
What you gonna do with your little light? Gonna let it shine. What you gonna do with your little light? Gonna let it shine. What you gonna do with your little light? Gonna let it shine. What you gonna do with your little light? Gonna let it shine. Gonna let it shine.
Let it shine. Shine. Let it shine.
Hello everyone! My name is Jacob, here today to talk to you about self-control. Self-control is choosing to do what you should, even when you don't want to. It's very important to have control. I have a controller for just about everything, in fact. Like this stereo. Thanks, stereo. Or this fan. I've even got a remote for my blender. And of course, everyone's favorite remote control, the TV remote. Whoa. Where is the TV remote? This is its spot. This is its home. It's where it lives. Where are you, little TV remote? TV remote! TV, 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 TV. No, little guy, where are you? TV! This makes me so mad. I bought the remote caddy so that I could house my remotes. And when someone takes the remotes away and doesn't put it back, I get real angry. I ask you, why have a remote caddy if you're not gonna caddy the remote?
What's going on? Oh, I think I'm paused. Okay, maybe this is for the best. I was really losing my temper there. Okay, I feel better. You can unpause me now.
That was a close one. Anger can really take over if you let it. In today's story, we'll hear about a guy named David who had every reason to be angry. Let's hope it doesn't control him. Oh. I wonder what this controls. I don't even own a car.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story. Inspired by the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 24.
David had been chosen by God as Israel's next king, but for a while, Saul was still king. David served King Saul and won many battles for him. The people loved David.
Hey, David, you're so fine. And you're so fine, you blow our money, David!
Saul, however, was deeply jealous of David. In fact, he even tried to kill him. David escaped into the wilderness, where around 400 men came to join him. People who were in trouble or owed money.
A merry band of misfits.
But Saul still saw David as a threat. When he heard that David and his men were camped in the desert of Maon, Saul took soldiers to chase after.
They're right behind us, David.
Quick, we'll head around the mountain.
Just as Saul and his men were closing in on David, Saul received word that the Philistines were attacking Israel.
Oh, phooey.
Saul was forced to stop the chase and deal with the Philistines. David and his men could breathe a sigh of relief.
There's a safe place near En-Gedi. Maybe Saul will finally leave us alone if we hide out there.
But as soon as Saul had dealt with the Philistines, a messenger brought news.
David is in the desert of En-Gedi.
Aha! We've got him this time. Gather 3,000 of the best soldiers from all of Israel.
But, Your Majesty, David only has 400 men.
3,000, and not one less.
Saul set out once more, determined to wipe out his rival.
Bet that pipsqueak is hiding out near the rocky cliffs of the Wild Goats.
Well, that seems oddly specific.
Yeah, he used to herd sheep.
In fact, David and his men have been staying near some sheep pens not far from the cliffs.
Saul, headed this way. He's got 3,000 soldiers.
Again? Why can't he leave us alone?
We can take him on. I'm worth 10 of his soldiers.
David could feel his anger boiling, but he took a deep breath.
No, we won't fight them now.
And we won't have a choice in about 6 minutes.
The caves! I want everyone inside! Stat!
David and his men hurried into a nearby cave that cut deep inside the cliffs.
All the way to the back!
They're here!
Outside, near the sheep pens, Saul had called a halt.
Take a break, men.
At that moment, Saul found himself in need of a royal outhouse.
I require a royal outhouse.
I believe there's a cave over there, Your Majesty.
I suppose it'll do.
Saul entered the cave. Far back in the cave, David and his men froze. Through the gloom, David could see the man who had tried to kill him and was now forcing him to live on the run.
What if he finds us?
I don't believe we're Saul's #1 priority at the moment.
He's alone. This is your chance.
God's handed your enemy over.
Don't let this chance just trickle away.
David's anger burned red hot as he crept up behind Saul, sword at the ready. But then, he forced himself to stop. Instead of attacking Saul, David sliced off a corner off the king's long royal robe. Saul left the cave with no idea that David was still inside.
Time to move out, men. This is the day we take out that whippersnapper David.
But at that moment, David emerged from the cave and cried out,
King Saul!
David?
David bowed low to the ground.
Why do you listen when men say David is trying to harm you? This day you have seen with your own eyes how the Lord handed you over to me in the cave. Some of my men begged me to kill you, but I didn't. I said, he is the Lord's anointed king.
Saul could only stare in shock as David held the piece of fabric he cut from Saul's robe.
Look at this. I cut off the corner of your robe, but I did not kill you. Yet you are hunting me down to kill me. May the Lord show that I'm not guilty of doing anything wrong. May he save me from you.
The truth cut Saul to the heart and began to weep.
Oh, you are a better person than I am. You have treated me well, but I've treated you badly. May the Lord reward you. I know for sure that you will be king. Now, promise me that you won't kill my family or wipe out my name from my family line.
David looked his enemy straight in the eye.
I promise.
Then Saul and his men returned home, and David and his band of misfits returned to their usual hiding place.
David was angry at King Saul, and he probably should have been. King Saul was trying to kill David. But even in his anger, David didn't lose control. He paused and thought and didn't let his anger take over. You don't need a remote control for yourself to know how to pause. You can do that on your own. If you're angry because someone borrowed something they weren't supposed to, or someone said something that really hurt your feelings, you could just fly off the handle. Or you can pause, count to 3 or 10 or 100 if you have to, and think about how you're going to respond. Remember, you can pause in real life, but what you can't do is rewind. Once you've said or done something in anger, it's out there. You can never take it back. I'm not saying you shouldn't ever get angry. In fact, Jesus himself got angry, but he had good reasons to get angry. And so do we sometimes. It's like when you or someone you know is being treated unfairly. That's a good reason to get angry. Losing a remote? Probably not the best reason to get angry, but good anger or bad, it's still wise to keep control of your anger instead of letting it control you. That's the one thing to remember today. Don't be controlled by your anger. Count to 10 and keep your cool. Music!
Okay. Music! Oh, that's the... Okay.
I gotta get a universal remote. I'll see you next time.
I'm Lawson, and I just discovered the best gum in the world. I mean, this stuff is amazing. It's got just the right sugar crunch on the outside, and the flavor lasts forever. I could chew this stuff all day. Here, you want to see a bubble? But you didn't show up to listen to me extol the glories of gum. No, you want a story, and I'm gonna give it to you. This one's about a girl Lila my sister knows. Lila and her mom have been sledding all day down Mount Everest while yodeling. Yodeling-hee-hoo. It's so much fun, they just can't stop. And when they finally come inside, they're so cold, they've both turned blue. So Lila says, ooh, I want to make hot chocolate. And Mom says, go for it. So Lila goes all out and adds cocoa and milk and cream and sugar and dark chocolate and sugar and chocolate chips and sugar and sugar. And when it's all mixed up, Mom and Lila give it a try. And it's so awesome, it blows their hair back. And Mom warns, better not drink too much of this, because the caffeine in the chocolate and all the sugar could keep them up. When they're done, Mom has to go finish something for work. Lila's going to put the hot chocolate away when she notices her fingertips are still blue. And she's like, I better drink a little more hot chocolate. And as she finishes that mug, she happens to see herself in the mirror. And she notices her eyebrows are still blue. So she says, Oops, better have some more. And then there's hardly any left in the pot, so Lila figures, that's not enough to save. And then she drinks the rest. And then she goes to bed. But an hour later, she's still awake thanks to all the sugar and caffeine. And by midnight, her eyes feel like they're glued wide open. And around 3 a.m., she's bouncing off the walls. And in the morning at breakfast, she finally falls asleep in her toasty oats. And Mom is like, what happened? And Lila croaks, too much of a good thing. Mom figures Lila has suffered enough and helps her wake up with a quick sled run, but only one. So kids, never yodel at home, but always do remember that self-control is choosing to do what you should, even when you don't want to. Yeah, maybe this isn't my favorite gum after all. Much better. See you guys next time. Bye.